We are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we heard this verse. I don't know if I already read the 50th one. I think I did. O son of Kunti, let me now tell you in brief how the Jiva attains Brahman, the acme of his Gyan, after succeeding in Nishkama Karma Yoga, desireless action. I will read this Sanskrit once more. Siddhim prapto jata Brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasaneva kaunteya nishta gyanasya ya para. Yes, I did not read. So, O son of Kunti, let me now tell you in brief how the Jiva attains Brahman, the acme of his Gyan, after succeeding in Nishkama Karma Yoga, means desireless action. When one performs Varnashram Dharma without desiring the fruits of action, but doing as a duty, then that will purify his heart. And in that purified heart, Gyan will appear, transcendental knowledge about eternal and non-eternal. So how this is happening, Krishna is telling. Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto trityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayam styaktva ragadvesho vyudasya cha vivikta sevilagvashi yatavakaya manasaha dhyana yoga paronityam vairagyam samupashritaha ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam parigraham vimucha nirmamakshanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. A person who does not confound his body and mind with his soul or self, who has no affinities for his friends and relatives, who is completely detached from all sensual enjoyments, who has attained pure intelligence and has controlled his mind by fortitude, who is destitute of the feelings of love and hatred for mundane phenomena, such as sound, sight, smell, etc., who has aptitude for solitude, is temperate in diet, restrained in action, word, and mind, is meditative, and is completely absolved from egotism, pomp, might, lust, and anger. He is a genuine ascetic, and he can easily realize Brahman. Here, note, the first stage in the realization of Brahman is the attainment of Brahma Gyan, that is, true knowledge of Brahman by the performance of Nishkama Karma, and then the attainment of my real self and realm, means Krishna's real self and his realm, by devotional service with the true conception of my real self, attributes, and entourage. So this verse says, person does not misidentify with matter, body and mind, and has no therefore he has no special affinity for friends and relatives, because he does not see them as such. He sees all living entities equal. But when we are in matter, then we think these are my relatives, they are strangers. This is my country, that is your country, all this. But on transcendental platform, there is no such vision, and he is detached from sensual enjoyments. That does not mean that he is not eating, sleeping, because it is written, he is temperate in diet, means what is necessary for the upkeep of the body he is taking in relation to his spiritual practice so that it is favorable. Pure intelligence means not clouded by material desires. Then we see with distorted vision when desires are there. Controlled his mind, who is destitute of has no feelings of love and hatred for mundane phenomena. I like this, I don't like this, according to my enjoyment, my material taste. He's above that. Sound, sight, smell, etc. I like this music, but I don't like that music. He's not having such likes and dislikes for these worldly things. He's already beyond. Who has aptitude for solitude, that is because he prefers that Atmananda he's getting, bliss of his own self. If he mixes with others, then that worldly things will come. But if he's with himself, then he can be in that bliss. Temperate in diet means, as Krishna told before, not eating too much and not too little. And also foods that are in Satya Guna, they are helpful. Rajoguna foods and Tamoguna foods will take us down consciousness. You will find all these things are also there in devotional practice. Rupa Goswami wrote in Padeshamrita, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam. Jihva Vegam has to attain control over tongue. Control means always tongue wants to taste some these tastes. There it is written in Upadeshamrita, in the commentary, or nectar of instruction. It is written in this Jiva Veg that should not eat too much spicy with chili. It is written, you can find nectar of instruction of Sai Maharaj or Upadeshamrita commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You will find Lonka, chili. That is Rajasic. So Indians, they are habituated from birth, but for us that is not recommended by them because it will increase heat in the body. And restraint in action, word and mind is meditative and is completely absolved from egotism. Already he transcended this worldly ego, so no selfish material desires, pomp, might, lust, and anger. This is conditioned souls. We are after this. We want this. But he went above, so he has no need of this. He's tasting that Atma Ananda. That Atma Ananda is superior to any material gain. He's a genuine ascetic, means he can be renounced from this world if he got this. Otherwise, we may act like as I'm renounced, but inside there are all desires. That is Markata Vairagya or Falgu Vairagya, monkey renunciation. Outwardly, monkey has no cloth, no house, going here and there, but he is enjoying with female monkeys. And Falgu river is in Gaya. There is a sand. It seems like that river is dry on the surface, but if you little dig, then you will find water. Like that, I may outwardly act, I'm a sannyasi, I'm renounced, I'm this, but inside so many desires. So that is false. But one who attained this, he realized his eternal nature as a spirit. Here he does not know that he is eternal servant of Krishna, but as a spirit, he can be renounced actually from this world, like Shukadev Goswami when he was Brahmagyani. He was going and he passed by some ladies, they were taking bath in the lake naked. And when they saw him, they did not feel the need to be ashamed or to cover their bodies or nothing, because Shukadev Goswami was above this man, woman, all this worldly, his mind is not there. So they did not feel. They are also eating, they are also working, they are doing, but moderate, as much as necessary for the upkeep of the body, not too much, not too less, and in such a way, in sattvic way, that it is not pulling them down, but it is in favor of their Atma Ramata. So here, the first stage is this Brahman, and then the attainment of devotion to Krishna. That verse will come. Next verse is this. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. A person who has realized Brahman, whose mind has become transparent, does not grieve. Transparent means because there is no worldly desires, so you can clearly see, otherwise it is clouded or distorted, polluted. So he does not grieve, nor does not hanker after anything mundane, because he knows that is not his requirement. And if something is lost, he does not lament. That has no direct relation with him. Has equitable vision toward all beings, sentient or insentient, and gradually attains nirguna bhakti, that is to say, pure devotion for me. So when one is actually practically situated on the Brahman platform, then he is prasannatma. He has that atma ramata, means satisfied in himself. That is transcendental bliss, but it is not full blown. That will be in the service of Krishna, but still that is bliss. It is better than any worldly thing. That is why he does not, nashochati, he does not lament. That person died, he will not lament. Or I lost this money, he will not. And he will not hanker for anything mundane. Because he's above, he knows my existence, my awareness, my consciousness, and my bliss does not depend on anything material. That is self-existing by default. But if I become attached to anything mundane, If I have any desire, and if I think this is mine or like this, then that will restrict my spiritual happiness. So they don't want this. They want to be liberated from this. Karmis, they will want those things, thinking that will make me happy. But Jnani, he wants to be detached, knowing that by that I can be happy, not by attachment. I can get this bliss. Samach sarveshu bhuteshu, he sees all living entities as equal. He does not see Russian, American, Indian, Slovenian, Croatian, all these German. He does not see these things. He sees the spirit. And that spirit is qualitatively the same everywhere. Those who are impersonalists, they will think there is only one spirit. This spirit is in that body, in this body, in one spirit. When you remove this difference, then only one spirit remains. So he does not see other living entities as according to their bodies and minds. He sees that spirit inside them. So he does not have any mundane discrimination or likes, dislikes, enmity to anyone based on some worldly ego. He does not. So when one is on that transcendental platform, then from there he can attain nirguna bhakti, because already he is in nirguna. He is not inside three gunas, only three gunas. He's already, but now he's static bliss, no waves. But by the grace of Krishna or his devotee, he can attain devotion to Krishna from that platform. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Raya Ramananda spoke about this verse, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, first Jnana and then you will attain Bhakti. Mahaprabhu said, Eho Bhajya Age Kohoar. This is external, you say something more to Raya Ramananda. Then Raya Ramananda said that verse, Jnane Prayasam Udapasana Manteva. One has to totally give up any process of Jnana and he should surrender to Krishna by hearing about him from the lotus mouth of a pure devotee realized soul who knows Krishna personally. And wherever he is situated, it doesn't matter, either Brahmin, Kshatriya or whatever. He just has to hear Harikatha and lead his life according to that Harikatha, means for the service of Krishna. Then here Mahaprabhu said, yes, I agree. Because this is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Not other gradual processes for purification, but this one. Mahaprabhu brought sadhus, pure devotees in this world, and to give us scope to hear about Krishna and to chant about Krishna, to serve Krishna directly. This is Mahaprabhu's grace. Then it develops more and more. But here Mahaprabhu did not say this is external. He said, Ehoho, yes, this is, I agree. This is right. That is pure devotion. So this Nirguna Bhakti, Jnani can get also by the grace of devotee, like Shukadev Goswami. Or he was a Jnani before. And for Kumaras also they were Jnanis. Impersonal Brahman, they were meditating, both. But by the grace of Krishna or devotee, they went further to take the service of Krishna. Explanation: freed from mundane appearances, the jiva realizes Brahmanhood in his unfettered spiritual existence. Unfettered means not bound, not covered, or such Brahman realized person has a transparent self, possesses calm and equitable vision towards all, high or low, rich or poor, due to his super mundane vision, beyond mundane vision, and does not grieve nor longs for anything mundane. Established in Brahmanhood, he gradually attains Nirguna Bhakti, pure devotion to me, which consists primarily in hearing, chanting, and meditating on my name, form, attributes, and revels, that is pastimes, in my blissful abode of Braja. Our Gurudev used to explain this Samadarshan. It is in Gita and also in Bhagavatam. Ambarish Maharaj has Samadarshan. Gurudev explained that brahmachari was collecting for the service of the temple, means there was one sannyasi from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Prabhupada sent brahmacharis and sannyasis for collection of money, means begging. You have to beg. You cannot earn money, ascetic, but you have to beg. So that sannyasi, he thought, he was before working in one railway station. He had good job, good money. So he thought there is a lack of money in demand. So Prabhupada is sending us to beg money. So he told to Prabhupada, if you want, I can go back, I can get that job, I will get good money and I can maintain the temple. You give me this order, I can go. Then he said, no, I don't want money. Prabhupada told, I am not telling you to, I am not in need of money. That is not the reason why I'm sending you. I'm sending you from door to door. You go and request people to give something for the service of Krishna. You have to explain to them, you have to speak some Harikatha, and you have to explain to them and inspire them that they should offer something for the service of Krishna, rice, dal, money, or whatever, because I want to engage them in the service of Krishna. They will get that Sukriti and gradually they will come. And also I don't want to get like 1 lakh, 1 million from one person. I want you to go to many persons. Even if he will give 1 rupee, he may be very poor, but if he will give 1 rupee, that will help him. If he's poor and giving 1 rupee, that may be much more offering than some rich person who will give like maybe 1,000 rupees. But in comparison, that poor is giving more percentage from his own. So Prabhupada said, I'm not in need of money. That is help of relief work. That is helping people. Then that sannyasi could understand. Oh, now I understand. So that is called collection. In Gauriya Mat, collection, seva. They will go to different houses and try to get something for the service of for Krishna, to give them scope of Sukriti. So one brahmachari was doing collection in our Calcutta Mat, and there was one house where husband and wife were there, but husband was very atheistic. Wife was inclined to serve. So he knew, and his wife also told him, to that brahmachari, you come when my husband will not be at home at that time when he's in job. So brahmachari used to come. And she gave, but one day that husband was exceptionally, he was home. So when he saw brahmachari, he immediately said, oh, brahmachari, you think you can become a sadhu just by taking this saffron cloth, you think you can become a sadhu. Sadhu should have samadarshan, equal vision. You see, I am eating from the same plate as my dog. Dog is eating and I'm eating together. Can you do this? You should have samadarshan, equal vision. Can you eat with your dog? I'm eating with my dog. Then that brahmachari left that place and went to Gurudev and told him. And then Gurudev said, it is not so easy to get samadarshan. This is not samadarshan. Because he's seeing I am I and he's dog. One who is having samadarshan, he's not identifying with a man and identifying that with the dog. So that was only out of ego and impurity. He said, I have samadarshan, you don't have. But Gurudev said to get samadarshan is not so easy. You need to do penance, you have to do practice and get realization. Here Gyan will reveal to one who will do Nishkama Karma Yoga for a long time without desires. That Gyan will reveal. And devotee also has to do sadhana bhakti to get realization. Many things we have to remove from our heart. And ignorance and all this. So Gyanis, they will see Samadarshan in this way, that one spirit is in everyone. In that way, he will see all are equal. But devotees, they will have that Samadarshan, all are related to Krishna. In that way, all are same. They are not man or this. They all belong to Krishna. So, the Gyanis, we are hearing here about Gyanis established in Brahmanhood. Yes, he gradually, by the grace of devotee, he will attain Nirguna Bhakti. Then he will chant, hear, remember Krishna's Nam Rup Gun Lila. We may hear many things and we may speak many things and understand also, but actual vision, for that we have to do penance, practice. Krishna told before that Sattvic Gyan, in order to get that, at the beginning it is like a poison, but consequence will be nectar, because you have to restrict your senses and you have to restrict your mind. Do austerities, then that sadhana, when you do, and you will have to give up many things, that is not so easy. Then that vision will come. So the Krishna consciousness is not only gathering some knowledge and giving some knowledge, theoretical knowledge. That is not enough. One has to actually practice service of Krishna sincerely for his satisfaction. Do. Then, by Krishna's grace, that realization will be there. Then actually you can inspire others to serve Krishna. When you yourself are engaged in the service of Krishna, you can automatically inspire others also. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvataha tatomam tattvato gyatva vishatetat anantaram. This is very famous verse. It is by pure devotion that one can have true knowledge of who I am, means of Krishna, what my nature is in reality, and what my qualities and actions are. Enlightened with the true knowledge regarding me, he enters into my blissful abode. Explanation. Who I am, that is to say, what the true conception of my real self is, what my nature is, and what my qualities and actions are, these are best known by the jiva by means of pure devotion. The jiva enters me when he is enlightened with the true knowledge regarding me and my blissful abode. This is one of my confidential teachings to you. This is also known as the realization of Brahman, attainable by the performance of desireless action. The climax of Brahman realization, absolute truth or spirit, the climax is Nirguna Bhakti or pure devotional service. There is Mike, and then there is beyond, what is eternal. But that what is eternal or spiritual, that has many layers of realization. First is Brahman, but that is also spiritual. Then it goes in devotion and many stages. Highest is Braja Dham, Vrindavan. You have to, there is a procedure, you cannot jump there by your mental speculation. Not possible. And one can know the actual nature of Krishna only by pure devotion. In that way, Krishna is real Bhagavan. The term enters me does not mean the tomfoolery of self-destruction. This word I did not hear yet before. Second, tomfoolery. Foolish or silly behavior. So enters me does not mean merging into him and losing your individual existence. That is like a self-destruction. Those who are Brahman realized, they are not feeling any difference. It is non-dual. That one spirit, all these difference, all Maya, all false, and there is only one spirit, because they are unable to realize distinctive qualities inside spiritual plane. But Upanishad, they are saying Nitya Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. Eko Bahunam Jobidadhati Kaman. There is one eternal among many eternals. There is one conscious among many conscious. This one fulfills the desires of many. That is spiritual variegatedness. One is Supreme Lord, who has his own tattva, the characteristics, and jivas, they are also eternal and also conscious, but they are dependent on him. They are his eternal servants. Both are transcendental, spiritual, eternal, everything. But this realization one can get only through devotion. So the term enters me here in this context does not mean any kind of merging, but it means entering into him in his lila, because that Swarup Shakti of Krishna is not different from him. And that Swarup Shakti is making all dham and all moods and transcendental forms and everything and all lilas. So entering into him means entering into his pastimes and not losing your identity. You realize your eternal identity in relation to Krishna. In one of 5 possible relationships. it really means attainment. This enters me. It really means attainment of real knowledge regarding my true form, attributes, and sports, and the Jiva attains full realization of Brahman when he is completely free from the bondage of this world. Attainment of my real self is known as the attainment of pure divine love. A more confidential teaching about me is the realization of Paramatman, which is known as the second stage of God realization. The principle of acquiring knowledge by desireless action and the Vedic process of acquiring bhakti by Jnana Yoga is a secret path leading to my attainment. Of the three processes of God realization, which I am now going to narrate, the process of Brahman realization is the first one, and you have known it. Let me now tell you about the second process. If one does Nishkama Karma Yoga, that will lead him to Gyan. Then by that Gyan, he can get realization of Brahman. Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano madvyapashrayaha mat prasadat avapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. One who takes absolute shelter in me, even with a selfish desire, attains, by my grace, the eternal and unchangeable realm, even though he performs his duties secular and causal. Explanation. One who takes absolute shelter, even with selfish desires, dedicating all his daily, causal, and secular duties to me as the Supreme Lord, he becomes an Ananya Bhakta, single-minded devotee, and attains Nirguna Bhakti in my eternal and immutable self by my grace. His devotion therefore is mixed, but he is to be distinguished from a Karmin with a mixture of devotion, as mentioned in the first 6 chapters. By such devotion to me, he attains my spiritual realm as Vaikuntha, Mathura, Dwaraka, and Ayodhya, which are not destroyed even in cataclysm by inconceivable power. That example is Dhruva Maharaj. He accepted the knowledge about Krishna from his mother and also from Narad, and gave up all hostile mentality, and with free mind he concentrated on worshipping Krishna, but with that desire. But ultimately he got darshan of Narayan and lost all other desires. So he got that pure devotion. But it is different than one who is doing Varna, Ashram, Dharma. He follows the scripture. That is his some sort of surrender or some sort of devotion to Krishna, because Krishna is giving scripture, but he does not have any direct worship of Krishna. But Dhruva had, he got that mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and other practices also he was doing, meditation on him, although with desire, but that was removed when he got darshan. So that is different than someone who is a karmin with a mixture of devotion. He is not working and enjoying. No, he's following scriptural regulations. So that is some level of devotion, but it is different than this one. Because he took absolute shelter to him, to Krishna. And here it is meant daily causal and secular duties he offered to him, that is that karmarpan stage. But Dhruva also did not do this. He was very young and he got the grace of Narad. So he got direct that process of meditating on Krishna. And this Vaikuntha, Mathura, Dwaraka and Ayodhya, we are seeing them here in this world. Mathura, Dwaraka and Ayodhya. Vaikuntha also, there is one Vaikuntha inside this material world. So we think they are of this world, but they are not. They are transcendental. With our material eyes, we are unable to recognize only. But, or Jagannath Puri. But when there is universal destruction, everything will be destroyed. But these dhams will not be destroyed. And the residents of dham, real residents, not those who are on the cover, real residents, they are not destroyed. So one, by pure devotion, can attain to these transcendental, eternal realms. Here Krishna says, by inconceivable power. By inconceivable power of Krishna, these transcendental, eternal realms, they descend in this world. But they are not of this world. They only descend. But with this material eyes, we are unable to see any difference. Those who have devotional eyes, they can perceive. Like with Krishna, he appeared. Sometimes we are thinking, oh, if I would be born 5,000 years ago, I could see Krishna, it would be very easy. Or if I would be 530, then I could see Mahaprabhu, it would be very easy. But the point is, Kamsa also saw Krishna, but he was afraid of him because no devotion. And Hiranyakashipu also saw, Ravan they saw. Like that now, we have Kali Kale Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam hoite hoy Sarva Jagat Anistar. Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahaprabhu told. Kali Kale, and in the age of Kali, Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna appeared as his name. Nam hoite hoy Sarva Jagat Anistar. All world will be rescued by the name. And also Nam Vigraha Swarup, Tin Ekrup, Tine Bednahi, Tin Chidanandarup, Mahaprabhu told. There is no difference between Krishna, his deity, and his name. All are transcendental, all blissful. So we have contact with his name and with his deity, and Dham is everything. But we are unable to realize unless we surrender. Then we can realize that really by the name we can be rescued. And we will submit. So there is no difference between name and Krishna appearing directly. There is no difference. We are not realizing. Or deity. We are seeing deity, but we are not recognizing. But if with firm faith, under the guidance of pure devotee, we hear about transcendental name and transcendental deity and serve them under his guidance, then we'll get that realization. It would not be anything different if with my present consciousness and karma and everything, if I would see directly Krishna. There is no difference, as if I hear his name from a pure devotee or see a deity installed by pure devotee. No difference. So there is no like we are lamenting, it would be more easy if I would be born at that time. Nothing more easy. Because now it is the same. The problem is in us. We are not surrendered. Mahaprabhu, by his own example, he taught us, Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranana kalo. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi. Durdeva mitrishami hajani nanuraga. Out of your mercy, you manifested many names in this world, like Krishna, Govinda, Gopinath, and all powers are given to the names. Sarva Shakti. They are omnipotent, these names. All powers. And there is no restriction of time, place, circumstance, purity, impurity, health, anything. For chanting this name. At any time, any place, in any state you can chant. Such is your mercy. Eta drishi tava kripa bhagavan. From your side, you have fully given yourself. You appeared this world in so many names, all powerful. But it is my misfortune. I have no liking to chant these names properly. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Prabhupada explained this Durdeva has many meanings. This misfortune is from our side. We committed so many offenses before, and so many desires are there, and so many things. That is why we are not able to get any taste in chanting the name and realizing them, who they are. So Mahaprabhu told Krishna appeared in Kali Yuga, not only Dwapar Yuga. Krishna appeared, God. But I am like Kamsa or like Hiranyakashipu. I am not recognizing and not devoted to him. That is the problem. Not that the problem is, oh, now Krishna is not coming in this world. That time he came, now he is not. He is not merciful. So I have to struggle. It is very difficult. But if I would be that time, it would be easy. No, Mahaprabhu is not telling such thing. He said, you are so merciful, Bhagavan. You appeared in this world. It is my misfortune. He is expressing, our Gurudev said, extreme regret. Extreme regret that I have no liking to chant your name due to my ignorance, due to my offense, all this. We have no taste. Our Gurudev sometimes used some strong words to make us understand. He said, you have to take prasad. That which cannot be offered to Krishna, you cannot take. You have to restrict your tongue. So certain things not. So Gurudev, to make us understand, he said, if some pig, his food is stool of human beings. That is his food, and he's liking very much, very tasty, relishing. So if that pig comes to you and says, I will cook today for you, I will give you food. So from his own understanding, he will bring you stool of a human being very happily. And will any human being like to take that? No, not possible. Like that, according to our taste, we may think eating meat, fish, flesh, eggs, these all things prohibited, cannot be offered to Krishna. We like very much alcohol, everything we like. So we also think, what is wrong? Krishna also likes everything. He is God, he is everything. Why we should not take this? But the thing is, you cannot offer those things. According to Shastra, Krishna told, according to Guru Parampara, Krishna told what you can offer to him. Like that, we human beings will not accept the stool of a human, although pig is liking so much. So like that, certain restrictions we have to accept if we want to serve Krishna. Serve him, not for our own enjoyment. So if we practice Nirguna Bhakti under the guidance of Nirguna Bhakta, that is pure devotee, then we can attain spiritual realm, eternal spiritual realm, in our real eternal identity. And our function is to serve Krishna. In that function, we can have no any suffering at all, and full bliss is there. That is what every jiva wants. So that is the only way. Tomorrow we'll hear further.